Hello, everyone. Andy Pickering here. Welcome to the Crypto Conversation. Today, I'm joined again by my brave new coin colleague, Mr. Aditya Das. Welcome to the show, Aditya.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for having me again. Look forward to chatting.
So, today, listeners, as I like to say, you can, of course, listen to this as a regular podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, really. As an audio-only podcast, that is absolutely fine. But we're also publishing this as a video on the Brave New Coin, a YouTube channel, and we're filming along today because if you are watching this on the Brave New Coin YouTube channel, you'll see that our Zoom backgrounds today pay homage, if you like, to the Shiba Inu. Why is that, Aditya?
Because today we'll be talking about the little meme coin that could, Shiba Inu.
The little dog that could.
The little dog that could. Yeah, one of the absolutely, hated. You might hate it, but it has been one of the biggest crypto stories of 2021. So
that's right.
We got to talk about it.
We got to talk about it. And I suppose the reason we're going to talk about it is because last week you wrote a story for bravenewcoin.com looking at really the history of the Shiba Inu coin. And just in reading that, I'd forgotten half of what had happened just because that's crypto, so much happens. But it's a fascinating story, so I thought we should cover it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was compelled to write that story because there's kind of two sides to the Shiba Inu story. I think, within crypto circles, the project gets a lot of hate because it's a meme coin. It's what's, colloquially known as a shit coin. It's, been aped into, it's full of degens. And, the maximalists often kind of ward people away from it. But I wanted to give it more of a kind of a sober look and give it its due because it has become the 11th largest asset in crypto. And for a while it was the 9th. So yeah, I just wanted to look under the hood and see what all the hype and the fuss was about and whether the maximalists were right and if it was just complete trash.
All right. So this is the story that you wrote. Aditya, love the title and love the image here. So yeah, the little dog that could, the astronomical rise of Shiba Inu. And so I suppose, Aditya, today what I'd like to do is maybe just kind of talk through some of the highlights of your piece, and then together, myself and the listeners, we can learn more about Shiba Inu. Some people will already be very familiar with it, and I suppose one of the big questions is, Shiba has it had its run? Is it exhausted? Because I think one of the things that happens with these meme coins, I've experienced it myself, is you have friends and family, cousins, ex-colleagues, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends that maybe aren't in crypto, but they see the astronomical rise of these meme coins, and then they text you and they say, yo, is it a good time to get into Shiba? And it's always hard to know what to say because when an asset has risen, plus whatever percent it is, it's probably not a good time to get in. But that's just how FOMO works. And for whatever reason or another, these meme coins, they do attract new retail interest and they do attract FOMO buyers. So I guess that's just kind of putting things in context. But yeah, where should we start with Shiba Inu? Maybe some background, Aditya, on just kind of what the Shiba Inu dog breed is and how that relates to firstly crypto and then this particular coin.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's a big question that people ask with regards to Shiba Inu. Why Shiba Inu? Why this dog breed? And it seems to be because the Shiba Inu is, the internet's dog breed. It's about 10 years ago, a meme, the Doge meme popped up, which we can, Kabuso, this very famous Japanese dog. And it's just, I guess, a very cute dog. It's been popular in Japan for years and years. and started getting popular in the West probably around the time that this meme became very popular. Very big on places like 4chan, 9gag, and yeah, it's become synonymous with meme culture, with, you know, I guess, you know, Zoomer culture or Gen Z culture. Um, Everybody loves this dog breed. It represents the internet. It represents memes, and with a lot of these meme coins, they pick these sort of brands or these mascots that are deeply rooted in meme culture. So, you know, it's easier for them to create communities from scratch because, oh, I know Shiba Inus. I know that dog. That's a cute dog. That's a meme dog. There's that instant connection with buyers. And, you know, like you said, you know, lots of people who kind of are attracted by these big numbers, you know, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, you know, moms, dads, aunties, uncles, because these projects aren't intimidating. They aren't like Bitcoin. There isn't this big, you know, technological, you know, highbrow kind of barrier to information. So yeah, the Shiba Inu is a nice, friendly, approachable brand and mascot. And yeah, that's the Shiba Inu, and you know, everything this dog touches, you know, everybody loves this dog. It's like the French bulldog or the pub. It's just a very beloved breed.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, Aditya, and you're exactly right. So while people might think something like a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, you know, they're like, oh man, what is a blockchain? This is, you know, this is beyond my pay grade. I don't want to invest in this. But then they think, oh, here's a cute dog. I don't need to know anything about how the blockchain behind it works. All I need to know is that this is a cute dog. My friends are talking about it, and you know, they're watching like Instagram influencers and people like that that are, I suppose, effectively pumping it and posting mad gains, and that is all it takes to get some serious FOMO interest behind a meme coin, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other reason Shiba Inu picked the Shiba Inu dog breed as its mascot is the original meme coin, Dogecoin, also uses the Shiba Inu
Yes.
dog as its mascot. And when Shiba Inu first started gaining steam, it was around the time of Doge's kind of strong second half to 2020.
Yes.
And it originally pitched itself as a better version of Doge, which we'll get into why it called itself that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we certainly will, because there's a very yeah, quite a complex history between the two, really. So let's just go through some of the key data points from your article, then, Aditya. So, you know, this was obviously published last week. So some of the rankings here will have changed slightly. So last week, Shiba was had kind of rocketed up to 11th on the Brave New Coin market cap table, and therefore had a higher market capitalization than, you know, long established assets like Chainlink and Litecoin. And Shiba had actually flipped Dogecoin, which was quite incredible. But we just had a look this morning. So here's the Brave New Coin market cap table. Bitcoin at the top, Ethereum number 2, and if we go down, Shiba has now dropped back. So Doge is back on top, but you can see there's not a huge difference in the market cap, but they're kind of flipping around. So Shiba's had a really quite a strong cooling off period in the last week, because it was overheated, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think since I wrote the article, it's lost about $4 billion in market cap. And slipped down a couple of places, but you know, it's surprisingly resilient. I think, you know, people were calling SHIB, because of how overheated it was, the short of the century. But it hasn't quite worked out that way. It is, you know, it has like dragged down a bit, and you know, when a coin is up $90 million in a year at some point, you know, at one point, it is natural to expect some profit taking, and some of those, you know, long-term holders to start exiting with those like astronomical gains that they've generated. But yeah, I think there has, you know, continued to be like an influx of new buyers that has sort of, allowed there to be some support for the price of the asset.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And well, another data point that you've included is Google Trends search data. So yeah, so here's that. So you're comparing Shiba Inu or SHIB to Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP. So yeah, I mean, Ethereum, Cardano, and XRP, quite popular altcoins traditionally. Let's just put this on the last 90 days, see what this looks like. Yeah, interesting. So of course, Ethereum mostly up the top as you'd expect. Cardano very strong initially, but then you can really see SHIB has just, yeah, at one point, I mean, XRP is doing nothing, but Shiba was, yeah, more popular than Ethereum for just a little while there in terms of Google search.
Absolutely. I mean, just a point, I use the term SHIB because Shiba Inu would give results for the dog breed too. So
yeah,
of course. Just, for fairness purposes. And yeah, this chart really surprised me. Ethereum, you think about the scale of the project, the amount of companies and developers and things that are tied to it and how long it's been around for. It created the smart contract. It created the NFT. But at one point in late October, more people were searching for SHIB than for Ethereum across the globe, which is, quite, surprising for this like one man came out of nowhere Memecoin project. And yeah, assets like XRP and Cardano, which have much, much, much bigger market caps than SHIB and have been around for much longer, are, just far more people at this stage are interested in buying into SHIB than those assets. At least that's what Google search trends is indicating.
That's right. Well, let's just get a little bit about the history then. So, you can explain this any way you want. I suppose start with, when was Shiba Inu launched or deployed? Who was behind it? And why was it pitched as a Dogecoin, a killer?
So Shiba Inu was launched in the second half of 2020 by a pseudonymous creator named Ryoshi, who, it's pretty obvious he takes that name from Satoshi. And he initially pitched this as an experiment in pure community decentralization, which I think is a little bit of a misnomer because there have been decentralized or community decentralized projects before SHIB. And its initial pitch, like we discussed earlier, was that it was a better version of Doge. Doge had an excellent 2020 and an excellent second half of 2020, which carried on into 2021. And there was a period during kind of the peak of the Doge hype cycle where we saw a lot of dog coin clones and meme coin clones. Like there was this animal coin phase of the market where everybody and their uncle was, launching coins in the Binance Smart Chain and the Ethereum chain and other platform blockchains, just like Doge alternatives. So for people who had missed out on the Doge run, could buy into these like Doge analogous tokens and, hopefully catch some of that momentum. The other thing about SHIB's launch that's important to note is that it was launched on Uniswap. Uniswap has this mechanism called a fair launch, where anybody can register a new token for trading as long as they can contribute enough to the other side of the liquidity pool. So for new coins, this is kind of a game changer because you can launch a token on one of the biggest decentralized exchanges in the world without any permission, without needing to go through like a compliance process or needing to register with an exchange. You can just launch on Uniswap and have access to like millions of traders instantly. And that's exactly what happened with Shiba. It launched on Uniswap and just blew up on decentralized exchanges from there.
Yes, it did. And I suppose we should just check in. Let's just have a look at the chart for Shiba. So yeah, on the 90-day, you can see, I mean, the chart sort of puts it into perspective. and I suppose we need to go back, or we need to understand the history, back to what was happening in May, really, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon. There we go. So is it around here? Where was it that, so you talk about this in the article, explain what happened with the anonymous creator, founder, Ryoshi, is that who it was? Whoever that is, the Shiba equivalent of Satoshi. So they were quite cheeky in that they sent, how much of the supply did they send to Vitalik?
I think it was about half or around half at the time. Yeah. And, it's one of these coins like Doge and like a few others. Tron was a notable example of this, where it's an enormous circulating supply. So very low denominations for individual assets. And that gives you, a lot of room to do things like burns and, allocations and do these, weird marketing strategies using tokens like Shiba did.
Low price, the low price psychology as well, isn't it?
The low price psychology, yeah. And again, it's a really good point, because we've seen both on, for Doge, this happened, let's get Doge to $1. On TikTok, it's quite a nice little number. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you get people behind it, they're like, oh, just if it gets to $1, then I'll be a billionaire. And it's everybody's seen those TikToks of people pointing at charts. If we start here, and if you get to hear how much your percentage gains would be. So the Vitalik situation was, when it was created, Vitalik's Ethereum address is public.
Yeah. So
what the Shiba creators decided to do was just send him a whole bunch of Shiba tokens. It's hard to know how much of enough like a marketing win this was for them, but clearly it had some effect. For most of us, who are crypto kind of savvy and understand the way markets work, it seemed a bit strange, why anybody can send anybody money on Ethereum. I can send you like a whole bunch of random tokens, and you can send me a whole bunch of random tokens. It doesn't really mean anything. But what Shiba Inu was trying to go for was this idea that if Vitalik owned SHIB and had SHIB in his wallet, and people could see that he had SHIB in his wallet, that means he was, a SHIB bull or pro SHIB. And so that was not the case. Yeah,
that's right. And so this was on May 13th. So if we,
the price chart.
Sorry, found it. There we go. So this was, just around, just before, it must be around here. And then, so Vitalik, once he realized that he'd been sent all these SHIB tokens, he very sensibly or pragmatically, I suppose, decided that he would donate, I think, the majority of them to a COVID relief fund in India, right?
Yeah, well, it was funny. I think the majority he actually burnt.
Yes.
So he removed them from circulation. So he sent them to a wallet which nobody could access. And a hefty amount went to charity. And the remainder he is just saving for a rainy day when he sees another charity that's worth, donating to.
And so, well, the funny thing about that is the chart sort of tells the story, because after, this massive amount of tokens were sent to Vitalik, who then decided he burnt a good portion of them and donated a good portion to a COVID relief fund. And then you can see the market kind of slowly getting bored of SHIB and not really paying much attention as a result, because I think the thinking would be, well, Vitalik has kind of turned his nose up and given away his tokens, gone to charity, gone to a good cause, but the investment thesis for this particular meme coin is probably over. But that was not the whole story, was it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just September and October were, strong months for a number of different assets. We saw Solana, Ethereum, altcoins, Bitcoin had a great month. We talked about October, and perhaps I think at least in the top 100, the biggest beneficiary was SHIB. Like, it's just insane how much it rose in value during October. And yeah, I think just with these sort of low liquidity alts, it just really benefited from a whole injection of new buyers coming in. It caught fire. The right things happened at the right times. It's tradable on Binance, which is the first retail port of call for most crypto traders. It got onto crypto.com and Coinbase. And yeah, I think when people were looking at what's the next Doge, what's the next meme coin, what's the next altcoin, SHIB just stood out.
But I think one thing that also stands out, Aditya, that you identified in your piece is, so if we look at the start of this bull run, really, probably around the 4th of October. Funny thing happened on the 4th of October, didn't it?
Yeah, I forgot to mention this. Elon Musk, the crypto oracle.
4th of October.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's incredible. So we'll talk us through what happened here. It's quite a bit. It's just, I don't know, as this proof that we live in a simulation, the incredible ability that Elon has to post memes and make markets.
Yeah, I was surprised by this, to be honest, when I was looking into my research, because, in the past, he tweeted that he was buying a Shiba, and he was going to be naming it Floki. So markets were aware, and we didn't quite see this sort of a reaction from them. But yeah, something about this tweet and the timing of it, because I believe this week Ethereum and Bitcoin also had really strong weeks. And yeah, him posting this picture of the Shiba and his Shiba named Floki, and kind of previous signals that he'd given in the past, referencing tokens like SHIB and referencing tokens like Doge, meant markets sort of front ran this and thought this perhaps was an endorsement of Shiba. And yeah, they just
I just wonder, sometimes I feel like Elon gets too clever for his own good with his tweets. So a good example this week would be his tweet about selling Tesla shares. I mean, maybe he's playing 4D chess and he's 3 or 4 moves ahead of all of us. I mean, that's probably the most likely scenario. But of course, he effectively tanked the Tesla share price this week because of that tweet. But I mean, we've seen him do that before. And of course, Tesla has recovered the same way he tanked Bitcoin, and Bitcoin recovered. But I just wonder, because Elon is such a vocal supporter of Doge, right? And effectively, Shiba has overtaken Doge, or they're kind of equal now. They're kind of swapping on the market cap table, right? But I think, that kind of, if there are all these other dog meme coins, it makes the use case or investment case, thesis, whatever you want to call it, for Dogecoin, just that much harder because it's got competition now, right?
Yeah. Another meme coin, in the same vein of Shiba and Doge that has been performing really well, pretty sure it's in the top 50, is a coin called Floki Inu,
yes,
named after Elon's dog Floki. Yeah, so I think it's something that these projects are doing, tethering themselves to Elon, and again, because of these strong community channels that these projects run on places like Discord and Telegram, you can sort of ignite a flame amongst retail buyers by sharing these sorts of tweets and coming up with narratives within these groups. And yeah, it's hard to know, but yeah, it's clear it clearly did have an effect.
So
there's no smoke without fire.
That's exactly right. Well, if we I suppose now we understand the bull case and the investment case, and well, sometimes it's as simple as a cute dog meme that has captured the imagination of a large community of people who appeared to prepared to buy in and hold and diamond hands. And maybe we won't go too deep into it today, but of course there's actually quite a well, we can just really quickly, there is a big ecosystem built around SHIB as well, and that you can stake it. There's NFTs, so there's a little bit more of a use case as just opposed to a buy and hold or more traditional proof of work crypto asset, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is why Shiba calls itself a better version of Doge, and why it can, stand by that slogan. It's because SHIB is built on the Ethereum blockchain and can, connect to all the things that smart contracts connect to. And, this allows the token to have a lot more utility than just, being a proof of work token. It can be staked. It can be yield farmed. It can be used to bought NFTs. It can be a governance token. And that's what Shiba has done. If you look at the ecosystem, it includes two other coins, Leash and Bone, which have mechanisms where they can be earned by staking SHIB. So staking SHIB also has this, other narrative where if you lock coins into the Shiba Swap exchange, that means there's less selling pressure because gas fees and being locked into. So there's a commitment device there that the Shiba developers have created for Shiba holders. But my only thing with that is we see a lot of projects doing this and, just creating exchanges that mirror Uniswap, and crypto really doesn't need 20 versions of Uniswap. So the TVL of Shiba Swap in comparison to its market cap is, horrendously low. Like looks so overvalued compared to some other tokens which have really high TVLs compared to their market caps. So yeah, how much Shiba is used for its additional utility as a token that connects to Shiba Swap and is a token that can be yield farmed is limited in comparison to its utility as a speculative asset or as a community asset. This token where let's all get rich together, apes together strong type mentality.
Okay, well, understood. Well, let's switch then to what you've called a dark cloud looming over the markets. And this is really the simple equation is that there are, I don't know how many there are, but there's one in particular, there's a couple of different mega whales, but the distribution of the holding is quite stark. Sure, there's a lot of retail buyers that own a little bit of SHIB, but man, there's some big whales and they're unpredictable, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the whale I reference in particular is quite concerning because it appears that he doesn't have any ties to the project. He was just an early adopter, right, an early buyer. So he's not like a developer, or he doesn't have anything at stake really. So this is the guy that spent $8,000 and it became $5.7 billion. So
it's BitLord. Surely I heard it was BitLord.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be quite funny. And, classic crypto. Mm. But whoever he is sitting on a massive, massive bag of SHIB. And if he really wanted to, he doesn't owe the SHIB community anything. There's nothing stopping him from moving these tokens. And for a long time, the SHIB community held out hope that because he hadn't touched these coins from, his initial $8,000 investment to it becoming $5.7 billion, they held out hope that maybe this was somebody who'd lost his keys or was just like, a really, strong community member. But what has really kind of triggered fear, and as well as the profit taking has dragged down the price slightly, is the fact that this mega whale who owns 40 trillion SHIB tokens has just moved his tokens to a new wallet. Yeah. This could mean a bunch of different things. It doesn't necessarily mean he's selling them, but, you put two and two together. Why, I think most people in their right mind would consider at this, opportunity that this has been a pretty successful investment, and it may be worth,
on understand. On the other hand, though, I guess the flip side of that again is that, there's this petition on change.org's got over 500,000 signatures to get Shiba Inu listed on Robinhood. And similarly, so I was just looking at this fairly trashy article, but it had some of the kind of the headlines on what's happening for Shiba Inu. I don't know who Tastyworks are, but they are adding support for Shiba. NFL player Brandon King is buying some SHIB. Elon Musk is not. Shiba Inu has more Twitter followers than Ethereum. I don't know. Coinbase. Are Coinbase adding Shiba? Have they already?
They have, I was looking at this morning. If we can go back to the CoinGecko page, perhaps, and just like scroll down to where Shiba is traded. And you can see, the volumes are just enormous. So that's it is quite a liquid asset. So it probably could deal with some selling pressure, but not $4 trillion worth. It's just, $4 trillion $40 trillion tokens worth.
Well, it depends on how ruthless the whale wants to be. If they just want to slowly distribute it, then he could do that forever, and that would be the best way to do it, because he probably can't. There's not enough liquidity there for him to dump all those tokens at once. It would just crash to zero, and he wouldn't get the best price anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start to finish this off.
Okay.
Aditya, I don't know. I think we've said most of what we need to say, but any closing thoughts from you? And look, can be on SHIB and anything else you're seeing in the market. I mean, for me, I'm not too interested in SHIB at the moment, but good to see Upvember start to continue, and good to see Bitcoin performing strongly at the moment. So I'm excited to see what happens in Q4, and SHIB probably will be along for the ride. What do you reckon?
Yeah, just to close out the thoughts on SHIB, I mean, to me, it seems kind of similar to things like Dogecoin and some of these alts that, pitter-patter along for ages and, are provided support by their strong communities. And then all of a sudden to have these like 1 or 2 month periods where they just like shoot up astronomically. So if, this is not financial advice, I'm not a betting man, but I reckon SHIB probably has 1 or 2 kind of big legs up over this bull run. I think perhaps like a Robinhood listing or some other big celebrity endorsement or some sort of tie to a major mainstream exchange could push the price up. But I mean, when an asset is up 75 million% over the course of a year, there is going to be some profit taking. So if you're buying into SHIB right now, prepared to see some bleeding and some profit taking, and the price is dragging down, and just a kind of a reconsolidation and drag downwards. In terms of the rest of the crypto market, Q4 looks like it's shaping up to be a fantastic quarter. Charts continue to look good. Ethereum just hitting a new all-time high and continuing to rise upwards. It looks like 4,800 is on the horizon. Layer 1 tokens like Solana, Avalanche, Phantom, just continue to, Luna is continue to rise upwards and upwards. It's been a huge year for DeFi and the NFT space and the utility of a number of different coins. Polkadot is another one that looks set to, launch parachains and expands its utility. So, it's just a really exciting time to be involved with crypto. I think the metaverse tokens, gaming tokens, we're seeing a lot of these projects reach a point of maturity, and solutions that we thought were inconceivable, a year and a half, 2 years ago, when we were deep in the bull market and, thinking everything was just fluff and words. And that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. So exciting times. I think all coins are set to, shoot up.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll be watching with interest. Thank you very much, Aditya, for coming and talking to us about Shiba Inu, the little dog that could. And Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that little dog, Doge as well, and Elon as well. And well, it's exciting times, Q4. All right. Thanks very much, Aditya. Thanks for listening, everybody. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave, a new coin. See ya.
Yeah.